Okay, so over the last 7 to 8 years, we've really worked hard at amending our soil. When we first moved here, the soil was really clayish and rocky, but by adding manure, which you can see in that back corner, and topping it with cardboard and wood chips, it has really made a huge difference on the quality of our soil. As you can see here, the soil is absolutely just perfect in composition, and it was nothing like it was when we first moved here. So we were very pleased with the results. Okay, so here we are looking at the raspberry patch. Now, as you can see, there's a bald spot right here, and then all the way at the end, it's really prolific. So for some reason, I don't know if it was that cold snap, but it killed a lot right in here. So I took transplanted some of the good plants where it was really thick and moved them right in here. So hopefully they'll take off and fill in that gap. The same thing with my blackberries. They really took a hit this past winter. So most of them are died all the way down to the ground and are starting over from the base. So they're very, very short. But that doesn't mean anything because they will just take off now that the warm weather's here, and pretty soon I'm going to be covered up in blackberries. Now that row I have already gotten weeded and fertilized. This row, however, is what it looks like before I have weeded and fertilized the area. So you can barely see the plants amongst all the weeds, but they're there. So I have that on my to-do list to get this row of berries weeded, fertilized, and looking like this row. And here are my lovely blueberries. They did lose a few of the blossoms to a freeze, but most of them have made it through just fine. And I have lots of little baby blueberries coming on. I'm super excited. Of course, this is my biggest bush. And let's see. This bush doesn't have that many blueberries on it. I don't know why, but either that or maybe it had flowers early and they really all died with the freeze. I don't know, but it's not my best plant. This one I just planted this year, so it may or may not have very many berries on it this year, but it is a legacy. So that one is a new plant for this year. And here is, I think this is a Brightwell, but this bush is completely loaded. It may be a small bush, but I'm super impressed with how many blueberries are packed on this little bush. So this year we are going to extend the garden a bit. So last year we stopped at about right here. So from that point over this way, that's how far we're coming out this far. Probably to put a couple more rows of okra or corn or something. This area over here is where we're gonna put our grapes. Well, this is a muscadine right here, but I think we're gonna do 4 10-foot. We got 4 plants, so counting that one. So 4 rows on there. There's different varieties, so we want to put one variety on each one. This used to be our compost pile, and we have since moved it over there. And so this is really good soil right here. So we just kind of smoothed it out, made it even. And that's where we're going to plant those. Eventually, I want to bring our berry bushes, the whole line down here. but I'm not going to do that this year because we have too much. Now, last year was the first time we had apples. We tried something different, and this was advice that a lady, I follow her stuff, her blogs and stuff like that, Melissa K. Norris with Pioneering Today. She had mentioned the idea of pruning your apple trees during the hot, dry summer months, like the late summer, instead of winter. So we tried that for the first time this past year, and I will say there's a huge increase in production. And it may be the weather, but who knows? All I know is that we did it for the first time, and we see a huge difference in the amount of blossoms, and we don't have a lot of those little tiny water shoots going on. So look at all these. I mean, we're gonna have to thin out these apples as it is, because there's no way this limb is gonna hold 30 apples. So the whole tree is like this. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's so high up. So anyway, this is the Granny Smith tree. This is our Golden Delicious. It's got a few blooms on it, not near as many as the Granny Smith. And our Pink Lady, which the Pink Lady's my favorite. But unfortunately, it doesn't have near as many blossoms as the other ones. You can see some right there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, right there. And there's a few, here and there, but not as many as the Granny Smith. Let's check on my bees. I still haven't attacked that ant bed yet. And I still haven't done this, but there's too many things and not enough time. The whole thing needs to come down. That was just a little windbreaker that I had going for the bees. I'm standing in their traffic line. Let me move out of their way. Anyway, I do really want to keep some kind of windbreak here because we get a lot of winds blowing this direction, but I'm not going to repeat with lattice. I'm going to find something else to put there. Just haven't figured it out yet. And the roof blew off of my top bar hive. It was falling apart anyway. That thing is 9 years old, literally. So I'm surprised it lasted this long. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the roof. I may just put some tin on top with some cinder blocks or something until I can figure out something more long term. This is, I think, an Arkansas Black. Let me see. Yes, Arkansas Black. And I thought it had died. I don't know if some of you guys saw my Instagram post about the rabbits, like literally had their way with the bottom of this. It looks like a deer rub almost, but it's not a deer rub. They literally just, I think it's rabbits, some kind of critter clawed the living daylights out of the bottom of it. And I thought, great, you just killed the tree. But she's loaded with blossoms. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Hopefully. Oh, look who discovered. We got some new tilled earth. Everybody, party in the garden. This is our ever-bearing mulberry that never bears. Actually, it does bloom every year, but the frost always gets it. It's very, very just unfortunate because this tree's been here like 7 years or 8 years. Actually, I think 8 years. Anyway, so yes, the freeze did get it again, but it was super, super early when it was barely blooming. And I think because it did that, the tree didn't think that it was ready to bloom, and now it's blooming again. It's actually really hard to see on this when you're outside. There it is. So there's bunches of them on here, and I'm so excited because I love mulberries. Now we do pick wild mulberries, but the trees are always so tall, and you have to pick so many of them, but they're so incredibly good. Hopefully we won't get another late freeze. I think even a hard frost would actually take these out, because this will be the first time in 8 years that we actually get to enjoy the fruit on this tree. Because I'm telling you right now, if it doesn't work out this year, I'm going to tell Sam, just cut it off. Just cut the tree down. There's no point in having it if we can't get anything out of it. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, that's how I feel. To have a plant that you nurture and love for that long to get nothing in return. I mean, to me, it just seems like a waste of space and a waste of everything. Last year, we got a freeze right before Mother's Day. So we can get them at the very last minute. And I just hate those because you'll have all these apples and all these blooms on your tree, and then one random rogue frost, it's like winter has to get its last word in, comes and kills everything. Now this, I think, is a moon glow. I can't keep up, y'all. I really can't. But, yeah. Moon glow pear dwarf. We haven't had any pears on here. I swear I'm going to start calling this thing a Bradford pear if it don't start producing. Ooh, 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 hang on. Hold the phone. I see one way up there. There's no way I can get it on video, but I do see a couple way at the top. So with our really hard freeze that was below zero, was thinking that our Chicago hardy figs were dead. They do start growing really late in the spring, but usually I would have seen some growth on here by now. And I was starting to get really discouraged until I got down really low. Oh gosh, I'm gonna probably squat down at ant bed and look at there. Little tiny babies coming up. So it did survive. It took a hit, but it did survive. Here's another one over here coming up right there. So, oh, I love my figs, y'all. They're so good. Oh my goodness. We are trying out a new variety, the brown turkey fig, which I think I'm gonna have to baby it during the winter time. But you know, they look dead as a doornail, so you can't give up on these plants. But look, that is a little tiny itty bitty green shoot growing on what looks like a dead limb. So you got to be patient with some of these trees. Let me look at our other, we've got another pear tree over here. This one had a lot more blooms on it. Let me see what variety it was, because I can't remember this either. Bartlett Pear. And it was loaded with blooms. And look, y'all, I'm so proud of this tree. It's covered in little tiny baby pears. So we've got a lot of pears on this little tree. And I am going to have to put a pretty decent fence around this, because the chickens will be jumping up and pecking the pears, which I may let them. If we get enough, I'll let them have the lower ones. So I'm so excited about our beautiful pear tree. It's awesome. And here's our other fig. This fig actually does 10,000 times better than that one as far as production. Has always been the smaller plant, but it's just, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I think I see some growth down here. Let me see, I thought I did. Please don't die. That would be my luck. The good tree will die. And the one that doesn't produce will live. Let's see if we can see some growth. But let me see if I can. Sometimes you can scratch a little bit on the, oh, okay, we're good. So you see how I scratched? You can scratch a little bit. You see that green? That means it's alive. Oh, look. Look at that. See, there's a baby. She's alive. She's alive. All right, good news. So that's our garden update for April. As you can see, we've got a lot of work to do, but we are making quite a bit of progress. I'll finish with showing you a quick video of our goslings so you can see how big and how fast they have gotten since we first brought them to the farm. Look at that. What is that? What's down there? See if somebody tries to jump over. No, we're just gonna.